Hey, what's up, Next Level crew? Welcome back to yet another episode of What's Your Next? And today we've got an awesome topic, and that is millions of professionals are quietly asking the same question today, and that is, what's next for me? And that means you.
Welcome to What's Your Next. This is the go-to podcast for aspiring business owners who want to get to the next level, escape the rat race, and give their middle finger to the corporate 9-to-5. If you want financial freedom, work-life balance, and the business of your dreams, you're in the right place. Dave and Stacy Riska, husband-wife franchising duo, openly share their successes, failures, and lessons learned in franchising, business ownership, and working with your spouse.
And here's why. All right. According to a recent Forbes survey, 50% of U.S. workers are considering a career change at this moment. And here's a bigger one. According to the Gallup workplace study, 77% of workers right now say they're experiencing burnout. Not surprising, right? You hear it all the time. At the same time, interestingly enough, franchise ownership and small business startups have been seeing double-digit growth. Does it make sense? Especially in service industries like home improvement, fitness, and health. So this episode is going to explore why many people are rethinking their work situation and what options are available out there for them to take back control of their careers and then sometimes their lives. So Stacy, everywhere we look, people are starting to seem completely restless these days. So why is 2025 becoming such a major turning point in career transitions?
Right. You said it right in the beginning, and it's the title of our podcast, What's Your Next? And that's because people are saying, they're asking themselves that exact question. You see it in the headlines every single day. There's economic uncertainty. As we're recording this, the government shut down and there's no future of when it's even going to reopen. You're hearing all about AI and the disruptions that is impacting on everybody. And as Dave said, burnout. So when you combine these three factors, you have a perfect storm. And people aren't dumb. They realize, they see what's coming, and they want to take charge of their future. And so they want to stop feeling trapped in the corporate world that they're in. And many of them who we talk to, they will literally say to us, if I'm going to work this hard, why not do it for myself?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think there's a lot of technological change about to happen. I think everybody knows the term AI, and the reality of it is that you hear every day in the news, AI is going to revolutionize all types of businesses, from Walmart to Microsoft to Amazon to your local grocer. And one of the themes that's been a common theme out there is that, well, what happens to the workforce? If AI can do what I do, then what do I do, right? So it is reshaping things. It's not all gloom and doom, obviously. People will always have jobs. And, the funny thing about it, when I look back to when e-commerce came back, out in the year 2000-ish or before 2000, it was going to change the world too. And everybody was going to lose their jobs. And now I think they hired more people to deal with the increased. I think what it does is it increases the velocity of everything, so it increases the need for more people to keep up with the velocity. So I don't see, a major, redefinition of people's, ability to work in this workforce from AI. I do think it's a great tool, but I do think it is gonna have an impact. And so, when you hear this in the news, it makes you want to think, hey, what's gonna happen to my job in 5, 10 years from now? Is it even gonna be around? So with that, what's really driving people to leave stable jobs right now? What do you think?
You shared a lot of the stats that are impacting it. Burnout. I'm very active on LinkedIn, and every single day there is some kind of article making headline news about people just talking about this, that they're burned out, they're stressed, they're burning it at both ends, and they just feel like they don't have a life anymore. And this comes home to the family. It puts a lot of pressure on family life. And so you talked about the AI making an impact. We have a lot of candidates. They're very smart. They come to us and realize that they see the trends that are happening. Sometimes they want to tap into a booming trend like senior care, or some of them will say, I want to look at a business that's more need-based versus want-based. AI will never be able to get under your sink and fix the plumbing, right? Or give you a new roof or new windows or many of the great concepts in home services that are need-based. So, it's not all doom and gloom, as Dave said. And I think there's positive trends. People are realizing that I can have a business that I'm passionate about, that's purpose-driven. When you set up a call with Dave and me in particular, when you are on that Zoom call and you look at my back wall, it says, do what you love what you do. And that is there on purpose because it's not just about getting a business. It's about having fun and enjoying what you're doing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, purpose is becoming also another trend that, if you didn't see our previous episode on that, you might want to check that out. There is a large trend right now. People are looking for ways to give back too, not just purpose, but, to how to impact socially their communities and things like that. And, franchises can give you that opportunity in many cases. One of the things that happened, from the pandemic is that I think a lot of people really liked the idea of working from home, because it did give them additional work-life balance. They could just drop, their kids needed something, they could run over to their kids' school and drop it off. Or, I can think of a billion reasons why that flexibility. And now everybody's being asked to return to the office, right. And coincidentally, all of a sudden you're starting to hear, worker satisfaction, plummeting. Yeah. So I think that's really, also having an impact in it. And, the nice thing about, a franchise or franchising is I can't even count how many franchises that are out there that you can set up shop in your own home. You can have that environment. Yeah. You don't have to go drive in, 45 minutes traffic to get to work and be 30 minutes away from your family. So these are the kind of things that really are playing into this upward trajectory and people looking at, business ownership for an alternative. When people leave corporate America, what paths are out there for them, or, as far as what they can do next, if they decide to leave corporate America?
Yeah. People who are asking themselves, what's my next? You could go out and get another job, but is that really gonna get you to where you want to go? So people who are more open to other opportunities, they may look at consulting. They'll be like, oh, well, I can do this myself, and I'll just consult and help others. They may look at freelancing or gig work. You see a lot of uptick in Uber drivers and DoorDash and Grubhub and Instacart, right? And people kind of doing gig work out there. And there's many tools and sources to help with that. But many are looking at small business ownership because they want to build wealth. They want freedom and control. And the benefit of a franchise is you're never starting from scratch. You get a proven system, support, the tools and the technology to help you. And so that's no surprise to me then why franchises have continued to grow. According to the International Franchise Association, just this year in 2025, it's going to see another 2.2% increase. And did you know there are over 815,000 franchises open today in the United States?
Yeah,
Pretty incredible.
It really is incredible. Even for us, when we drive around, we look and we're like, oh, that's a franchise. Right? And they're everywhere. Every strip shopping center you see, those are the most visible. You don't see the ones that are working from home, which there's just, again, 800 some thousand of them. All right. So, people are curious but scared to make a move like this. Where do you think they should start?
We have a great tool that gets them thinking through what their options might be, but more importantly, what is important to you. So we have a 5-minute lifestyle assessment tool free on our website. Dave will put a link to it. Download it, grab a cup of coffee, and take 5 minutes and fill it out. It'll give you real clarity onto what's important to you. But as a secondary step, reach out to us. Conversation is free. Be open to learning and exploring what your options might be. In full disclosure, most people that we talk to never make it to the end of the road and end up investing in a business. Those who do, they've done their due diligence and know that it's the right choice for them. Some people come to us, they're just too entrepreneurial, and franchising would never be a good fit. So we'll connect them with resources to help them explore entrepreneurial-driven ventures. Some people, it's not the right timing. Their skill sets don't match to business ownership. We have the tools and resources to match you to whatever your next might be. And yes, we focus on franchise ownership as one of the paths because we're passionate about it and we have the experience, but we've also been down all of the paths ourselves, and we share candidly the pros and cons to each of those paths with you.
Absolutely. And so we'll end up with one last question right along those lines. So you've said, and you say it a lot, that it isn't just about business, it's about lifestyle. Mm-hmm. What do you mean there?
Lifestyle means something to everybody. And when you meet with Dave and I, we're going to ask you what the F. And that's because there are 8 different F's that might be important to your lifestyle. I'm not going to share them here. You got to grab a call with us to find out what those are. But that's getting deep into what lifestyle means to you. And for most people, it's more than just a paycheck.
Absolutely. In fact, we're going to wrap up with this, that, it's very obvious that 2025 isn't just another year. And that many professionals today are looking to redefine success in a different way than necessarily the way they're doing it now. And whether that's a franchise, whether that's a consulting business, gig working, it starts with a really critical question, and that is, what's your next? Mm-hmm. So anyway, we're going to wrap this up. We do thank you for joining us today on this episode. If you liked our content, we always ask, please like, subscribe. We really appreciate it. And we will catch you on the next episode of What's Your Next?